Hello everyone, this video is in continuation to our videos on animal kingdom. We had discussed amphibians, their examples, then now the next phylum is reptiles. We'll discuss reptiles ke characters here. In next video we'll talk about their examples, then aves and mammals, and then we are done with animal kingdom. I know you are eagerly waiting for animal kingdom to get over. After animal kingdom we'll start up with our new unit. Fine, so you just have to see a few more videos and then we are done with it. So why I am making it in detail, so that if you are even prepared for competitive exams, your boards or whatever you are preparing for, it will give you a clear idea of everything, so you don't have to refer to multiple books. Fine, because I am doing it for you. So we watch the video till the end. You will get all the important pointers related to all the systems here on the board, which you can use for your notes. Starting up with the reptiles. So first of all, first and foremost thing about reptiles is that when we talked about amphibians, their skin was moist and glandular because they had to undergo cutaneous respiration. But herein, first we start with their habitat. They can be aquatic or terrestrial or land, the ones which survive on land. Okay, so they can show both the type of they can survive in both the type of habitats. Their skin is scaly with epidermal scales. The skin is scaly, non-glandular. These are this you can say are also the difference between amphibians and reptiles, the basic characters. Then obviously they have epidermal scales, that means they have endoskeleton present. In amphibians, exoskeleton. It was absent in amphibians, there was no exoskeleton, but in case of reptiles, exoskeleton is present, which has epidermal scales present, which gives it a rough and scaly appearance. Then there are no glands present in the skin, and also they are dry, so that there is no loss of water from the skin of the organism. That's why it's scaly and dry. They are generally carnivores, but there is one example, tortoise, which is omnivore, can feed on both. It's herbivores also or carnivores also. We are also omnivores, maximum of us. So these are the basic characteristic features of reptiles. Now we'll take up all the systems of the reptiles one by one, talking about our first system. I will just write it here. Respiratory system. So respiration, obviously they are terrestrial, basically mostly they are terrestrial, so they show pulmonary respiration through lungs. Pulmonary through lungs. So this is the mode of respiration carried on. Then we have the next system, excretory system. Excretory system. They are aquatic, they are terrestrial, so again same thing. If they are terrestrial land animals, they excrete out, they are uricotelic. If they are aquatic, they excrete out urea, that is they are ureotelic. Fine. So they excrete out both the type of waste, urea and uric acid both. So in case when they are terrestrial, it is uricotelic, and when it is aquatic, it shows urotelic mode of excretion, or the waste which is passed out is urotelic. Then we have digestive system of the reptiles. Now when we talk about digestive system, as in the amphibians also, we were discussing about the teeth, and we discussed about the different type of teeth which are present here. Herein also we are going to talk about the teeth. The teeth in case of reptiles, they can be homodont or heterodont. That means can be of same shape or it can be of different shape as it is in humans. So it can show different shapes as well. So homodont or heterodont, both the type of teeth are present. The teeth can be acrodont or pleurodont. That means if it is acrodont, it is not rooted inside the gums, but in pleurodont cases, it's rooted inside. And if we talk about crocodiles specifically, they show thecodont type of teeth. Crocodiles, they show thecodont type of teeth, just like us. That means the teeth are, I'll write it with another color, teeth embedded in sockets. So the teeth are embedded in sockets. So these are the various characteristics of teeth in the digestive system. Also they have cloaca. They have cloaca present, wherein the semi-liquid stool is passed out. Then we have our next system, that is circulatory system. We talk about heart here, we talk about blood here. Talking about the circulatory system, first thing, the heart. Heart is 3.5 chambered. Now what does this 3.5 means? 3.5 means that if I make this structure of heart, so this 3.5 arrangement is that the ventricles are incompletely divided. The ventricle is not completely divided. That means we have these auricles. So we can say 2 auricles, 1 ventricle, but it has incomplete septa. So this septa, it's not completely divided, so the blood get mixed up in the ventricle. So the main concept is that again double circulation here is incomplete. Why? Because mixed blood is circulated to the body, and if you remember in the amphibians, I'll just remove this line and use this space here. If you remember, in case of amphibians, when the mixed blood was supplied, that type of heart was known as arteriovenous heart. So arteriovenous heart is present, wherein deoxygenated blood is supplied to whole of the body. The heart is 3.5 chambered here. Fine. So these are the main characteristics of the circulatory system. A very well developed hepatic portal system is present in the amphibians, and we have an exception also. We have an exception of crocodiles. Crocodiles have 4 chambered heart. The alligators and crocodiles, they have 4 chambered heart and they show complete double circulation. The heart is not arteriovenous heart. So these are the characteristic features of reptiles in context to the circulatory system. Moving on to our next system, nervous system. Just like us, they have 12 pair of 12 pair of cranial nerves. And plus they have some of them, they have a very unique organ known as Jacobson's organ. Jacobson's organ is basically, I'll write with a different color, it's basically responsible for sensing chemical in air and is specifically found in snakes. So Jacobson organ is present in some of the reptiles. Skeletal system. Under skeletal system, they have now exoskeleton also and endoskeleton also. We have discussed that the exoskeleton is scaly. So we'll write exoskeleton, epidermal scales, and endoskeleton, is bony. Plus, in amphibians, atlas and axis, the two first neck vertebrae were absent. Here both are present. So atlas and axis present. That means they have a specific neck region, the first two vertebrae of the vertebral column. So this is about skeletal system. A reproductive system now. First of all, they show sexual dimorphism. That means the males and females can be identified separately, and they show sexual type of reproduction. So sexual dimorphism is a very specific feature or trait here. The males have copulatory organs. That means copulatory organs are the organs which assist the process of copulation, and also they can also have a certain claspers and all the structures to just clasp the female during the process of copulation. So they have copulatory organs. The males have copulatory organs present in them. Generally they are oviparous. That means they lay eggs. And the eggs which they lay, they are cleidoic. Cleidoic eggs are present. That means the eggs which are self-sufficient, they do not require nourishment from the placenta. Unka yolk is sufficient enough for providing them nourishment for the development. For example, the egg of hen, it is a cleidoic egg. It has that yolk and albumin present in it, and it can survive on its own. As soon as the shell breaks, the chick comes out. Same happens here. A cleidoic egg is there which is self-sufficient, and as and when the organism is fully developed, it just ruptures and the organism comes out. So it has cleidoic type of eggs present in it. All the four layers, amnion, chorion, yolk sac layer, they are present in it. So it is known as amniota. So it is amniotic or amniota. We call it amniota also. We give it this term because of the presence of all the four layers. Then some of them, they give rise to the birth to the young ones also. For example, a rat snake. A rat snake is viviparous, and rattlesnake is ovoviviparous. Ovoviviparous. These are two exceptions. So generally they lay eggs, but there are a few which give birth to their young ones. They are viviparous, example rat snake, and there are a few wherein the eggs are hatched inside the body of the female, develop inside the body of the female, and then the young ones are passed out of the body. Example, a rattlesnake. So these are certain characteristic features and the different systems present in the phylum Reptilia. We'll be talking about their examples, a few examples of reptiles in our next video. So keep watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you.